Yo. It's the Ring of Honor post show. Also, the Impact Wrestling post show. Definitely stick around after that. It's your boy, Righteous Reg, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. Joined today. Shout out to the homegirl, Kate, who is on vacation. So the homeboy SP3 is here in the building to help out with the Ring of Honor post show. Always talking about Ring of Honor, so this makes the most sense. How are you today, my bro?
I am doing well. The Rod Belding of the Fightful ROH review is back here to take the kids on a ski trip. I come through unlike the white version. The black version is here, which is unlike a lot of stereotypes out there.
That's
I'm
true.
a good black father. Shout outs to Will
That's
Washington, another great black father. But yes,
Shout out to the homie.
we're here to discuss the Ring of Honor. I don't know how I always go down these rabbit holes, but here we are.
It happens off rip every single time, and I appreciate it. That's why you're here, and that's why the game is the game. Very long Ring of Honor show today. They were like, here's like 12 matches or something right now for you guys to watch. SP3, when they do this, it's like we get to some of the matches, and I'm like, they could have probably this one, they could have probably this one. Everything would have probably flowed a little bit better. I always wonder why they pack it like this, and then some weeks it's only an hour and 15. What do you think the reasoning behind putting 12 matches on this show is, in your opinion?
I think a whole bunch of people show up to the show that day and they just go, "Hey, we got a whole bunch of people here. Are they all gonna get matches?" Yup. We gotta fill some Ring of Honor. We gonna fill it up. This is gonna be a jam-packed Ring of Honor show.
The only thing that I feel that contradicts that is in this show, John Cruz is here. Also, somebody else. It's like, okay, he gets 2 matches. Why wouldn't that? Okay. I'm all right. Well, I'll let it go. We'll let it pass.
You know what's funny is that when I'm watching the John Cruz matchup, I was like, wait a minute. It was like one of those moments. It was like, wait a minute. Like, you telling me, okay, they're probably not using the same guy anymore, right? No.
Yep.
Proven wrong. Proven wrong.
But regardless of that, there was some good action here. I think they are trying to do a lot to advance specifically the women's television championship division and the men's television championship division also. I think there are some things that happened here. The most exciting thing I think for me is that the Ring of Honor tag team championships are back here on the show for however long we get to have them. I don't care however long it is. It's great for me. They were in the main event, so I felt good about that. Beyond it being a long show, how did you kind of feel about the show before we get into it?
Yeah, I think that Ring of Honor has a couple of things that are like really good right now that are can kind of be like the driving forces to get people to watch the product, like your Athena and Nyla Rose. I think they're doing good job at building that feud, as well as the Dalton Castle and Johnny TV. And like you said, the Ring of Honor women's television tournament, as far as like letting us know who the contenders are, who are the people that we should keep an eye on for, who's the ones gaining momentum before the tournament starts, and then they have the little stories outside of that. So I like those things, but like you said, when you have a 12 match card on a show, there's a lot of filler and a lot of fluff. But I do like some other things that they're doing, like lower on the card, like the whole Maria's baby boys versus the Spanish announce party or people. I don't know, SAP, something or another. But yeah, they're building actually lower card feuds, and that's kind of different for them. They don't always do that. Like the last time I remember them doing a non-title tag team feud had to be like the Kingdom versus Darius and Action Andretti.
Right.
So, I like it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the coolest thing that's happening in Ring of Honor is they're focusing on that. But specifically in the women's division, they're telling like 3 or 4 stories. We're getting like in this giant card, we are getting a bunch of women's matches too. So that is the good thing to kind of come along at the end of this. So yeah, we started the show with the tag team match in the tag team division with the Righteous. They stole my name. I want my royalties. I want my money back. One day I'm gonna let y'all keep cooking, but eventually I'm gonna come from what's mine.
Y'all don't have a dope music video. Yo, imagine Righteous Reg and Vincent.
See?
And then and then you need to do some rap lyrics over their music. Oh my god. It would be the illest music video of all time.
Okay,
we need super chats for all of that. All of that.
Look,
That's
some money is being made around here, and SP3 is the one dishing it out. Look, it sounds great to me. I love it. You guys, if you guys want to have this all squared away, I'll forget about my name being represented by y'all, and we could just do this together and be the complete Righteous. I'll join the Righteous, put on all white, and it'll be dope. The Righteous took on, this felt like, if you guys know independent wrestling around the St. Louis area, a lot of this was St. Louis. So this felt like, shout out to the homie Van Twin Blade, this felt like ROH versus Glory Pro for a lot of this show. In the first match, it was the Righteous taking on a friend of the RighteousReg realm and the BW 500, Camaro Jackson and Anaya. They had a really good showing here. The St. Louis crowd, like I said, they know about their wrestlers. They have a very strong scene out there. A lot of them were on display here, and the crowd lets you know that we are here to support our St. Louis people. The Righteous ended up getting the victory. I think coming into the ROH tag team title division now, having all these kind of established tag teams already just kind of on waiting for the Kingdom is great. The Righteous have a stake in here because they had to be in an awful 2-on-1 match with MJF, so they deserve something for that ridiculousness. And I think establishing them back in, they got Lance Archer kind of kicking in the background too, is a great spot here. How you felt about it?
Yeah, I thought this was a good opener to kind of set them up as one of the people that are gunning for the Kingdom, and plus there's also the added story of Vincent being a former member of the Kingdom and really getting his start in Ring of Honor behind Matt Taven, and the feud they had in the latter stages of Ring of Honor was the whole reason why Bennett and Taven reunited during that last run of Ring of Honor under Sinclair. So I like that the Righteous are picking up wins. They're gaining momentum. I like the, featuring the independent talent out in St. Louis, and that crowd on Collision, I mentioned that on our Collision review, was very good, and I thought they were good for this match as well.
Yeah, and the Righteous were one of the original people being like, Adam Cole's full of shit, like off rip. Like when people were before the devil stuff, they were the ones like, yo, Adam Cole is lying to y'all. So they got something in this, tying it in with the Kingdom, I think is going to be a really good way to go. We followed up with the Native Beast. She was kind of all over this show. Nyla Rose causing wreckage, causing havoc. I love this. They do this in AEW / Ring of Honor, where they have these kind of established talents who aren't getting the opportunities, or maybe not the opportunities, but just like there's an overload of talent on their main show. So they'll send them over to Ring of Honor to cook. And Nyla Rose is perfect, I think, for this situation because she's an established talent that people know and love no matter what. She's over. So bringing her in here to mingle with the division and ultimately have this match with Athena, I think is great. She was here in a match with Laney Luck. It was a Nyla Rose match. She's been adding in comedy to her matches too, which has been hilarious. She did this fake 619 bit in this match, and
the 703.
The 703 is what she called it. And she just is talking to the camera and engaging, and just like when Nyla Rose is on screen, she commands everything. And this is what this match was about. Ended it with the Nyla Rose bomb, the Beast bomb. And I think that them establishing her as a contender here is a great move because Athena kind of cleaned out the division over here in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and you kind of saw that towards the end of last year after Final Battle, that they kept like putting it, or really at Final Battle was the start of it, because I think on the pre-show you had Taya get a win, and then you had on the show Nyla Rose beat Vert Vixen. So you started seeing that there. They started building that, and now they've kind of really started the Nyla and Athena rivalry with that attack and that great segment that they did 2 weeks ago at the gym when Nyla surprised her with the surprise bitch. So that was great. That was great to pull that one out, which should, I mean, if they need to make new t-shirts for that catchphrase, because that's just great stuff that Nyla pulls out. And I think that this rivalry has great potential because you already see that Nyla Rose is just so charismatic, and we want to see her on the screen. So I like the fact that she is doing what I call the OG triple OG of doing this is Tyson Kidd, of being on the main roster and taking step down and going to the lower brand and feeling like a bigger star. And that's instantly what Nyla Rose feels like in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I like about Ring of Honor is like we all kind of have this preconceived conception of what we think it is. Like some people have long, rich histories. We do ourselves here, SP3, of what we think it should be, with the history, what it is. And really, it's just like a brand for people kind of to get reps. Somebody was talking about it in the chat. With the loss of AEW Dark and the loss of AEW Dark Elevation, they try to get me out of here online when I said that Ring of Honor is the new version of that. Realistically, it's a place for them to get reps that's not Dynamite or Collision. And some people are, as Ethan Page has been going hard about, here to not just have a little side project going on. They're going to go 100% for Ring of Honor. And I think Nyla Rose is showing that she's doing that too, which I think is very dope.
And they haven't gave it the stigma of dark yet, where you can't tell stories, or people won't give it an attempt to care about you telling a story on dark after a certain point. They haven't had that on Ring of Honor because they've always at least had one or two stories going on. So it gives people like Ethan Page the opportunity to tell his story with Tony Nese, and now he's getting into the title picture, and now you got Nyla Rose going up against Athena, and everything Athena's done in Ring of Honor becoming the face of the division. So it's great that this is a place that this roster is just so robust that they have to put a couple of these people on Ring of Honor.
They're like, we don't have a choice. We have too many great wrestlers. You have to go over there because we don't have space, which is a great space to exist in for a pro wrestling company. I don't know how to wrestlers, but some of them are probably like, but I want to be over there. And like, just take what opportunity you got and go run with it. Next up, we had Bay Area favorite out of San Jose, California, Aaron Solo. We haven't seen Aaron Solo on TV much often post QT Marshall being affiliated with AEW. So it's good to see him here. I think he's a very talented wrestler who deserves a little bit more. He took on a very talented, making his mark here in Ring of Honor, Zach Knight, who I think has been surprising me, SP3, legit every other week with his progression and how he kind of works. The brother is quick. The brother can strike. The brother gets it. Nice footwork. Kind of understands everything, what it is to have like just a good basic wrestling match, get a crowd that's not all the way in there all the time, kind of back into it. I thought the way that him and Solo were just striking it out, having a who's faster, who's younger, who's doper match was super fun. Zach Knight ended it with a nice elbow, just taking Solo out. I think that him coming in and not trying to ride too much off the backs of who he is and who his family is, I think is important. Just like, no, this is just a great wrestler getting an opportunity, having fun. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I like this matchup. I thought that Knight, he looked really good. His strikes just look very, very snug, very stiff. Like I like that. It makes him stand out on this roster. And I thought Aaron Solo was good, like bumping around for him. He had good heat. His offense looked good. So this worked out to be a pretty fun matchup. I think long term though, I think the thing for Knight is when he's gets more reps on Ring of Honor, eventually he can get a role on the AEW roster, whether it be in an act with his sister Saraya, or if Tony looks over in the Rev Pro, because I hate to tell y'all, the best night in wrestling in this family is not in AEW. It's in Rev Pro. It's in Rev Pro right now. RKJ, they need to pick him up ASAP because they can have a whole Night family kind of faction right now.
Teaming those two guys up, I think, would be a big hit, honestly, with how it's going right now, especially if they're going to keep Knight over here in Ring of Honor with the tag team division, with how it's going. Like, yo, we might be making some money out here. Y'all need to go be looking at Rev Pro, because beyond Knight, they are cooking a lot. That's another story for another day, though. Next up, we had match that SB3 said he was excited about. It was Cole Carter and Griff Garrison taking on, I will never call them that. Shout out to Joel and Jose Maximo, the real Spanish announced team. I hate it. I still hate that they call it that. So stop it. But it was Serpentico and Angelico in a match. They've been building, like you said, this has been a side story for Ring of Honor for a number of episodes now. Maria has been playing a nice role being in there. I still don't know why she did that theme thing a couple weeks ago. They kind of forgot about it, I think, but I think they're going to bring it back. These guys work well together, I think, beyond everything. They've had some singles matches. We laughed really hard last time you were on here at that backstage segment where they came falling in. So they've been telling this story for a while. This was a Ring of Honor match. I think with the new Ring of Honor and how they're establishing it and the new characters that they're trying to get over, Cole Karter, Griff Garrison, Serpentico, and Angelico are playing a big role in establishing a subset of what this kind of brand represents. So I think them building that and having that is really, really dope. The ending saw Cole Karter taking off Serpentico's mask, and then Griff Garrison hit him with the rolling elbow to the back. 1, 2, 3. How do you feel about Karter and Garrison? I think I asked you about this last time. Have they gotten more over to you with this story?
I will say that yeah, it feels like that. They got good heat on the the stealing of the mask and the attack after the matchup. From what I heard, because there wasn't a lot of people there at that point. But from what I heard, from the people that were there, it got good heat. But man, how many times did Maria need to get on that apron?
I'm saying,
Jesus Christ.
She keeps thinking of that Carl Anderson gift. She's like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Like, I don't think it's working anymore.
I was like, nah, let's not do that many times. It was like mistimed. Like she had to do it again. Then she did it a third time. I was like, what are we doing? Get to the point. What's the point?
I thought we edit this show too, dude. Let's like edit that part out. Just get the last one.
I was like, what is going on? But I like the fact he took off the mask. That's how he gets the win. It gets good heat on them. They seem like they can play the cocky, young, kind of Eminem type tag team. Yes, I'm aging myself with all these references that are making.
All right, we're grandpas on this show, I guess.
Johnny
KRS-One, yeah.
I'm talking about Johnny Nitro with Johnny TVs on the same episode. They're the new version of Eminem. Yes.
Okay.
Without Melina doing splits. Melina's the mom now.
I like it. I think they are in need for a gear change. They just look too basic. That's not that. I think they're better than what their gear represents. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean?
They need matching gear. I don't know, not just the matching colors, because they still feel like two individuals that are put together. If they have the matching gear, I think that will also help them, and it also helps with the whole gimmick that they're trying to get across. Because commentary was going heavy on getting across that all their team are coming together,
right?
And all of this, like they were going hard. Oh, Maria's baby boys, like they announced it, didn't even announce them as Maria's baby boys. That's like commentary.
Yeah.
Ian and Caprice going into business for themselves, giving them the tag team name Maria's baby boys. So have them dress alike. Have your baby boys dress alike.
Maybe thinking about it, it's really just Griff Garrison's gear. You got to get some elbow pads or some knee pads or something, man. It looks like you look naked out there a little bit. Like I understand. Like I get it. Like there's a market, there's a look. But maybe just switch it up a little bit. Because it takes me out.
It's like early days Chuck Palumbo.
Yeah, exactly.
Very early days Chuck Palumbo.
And it's even like
Chuck realized I got to put on some knee pads.
I mean, look what they did to him. They were like, all right, I guess we'll put you with Billy Gunn. It's crazy out here.
That's when he comes to WWE. I'm talking about WCW Chuck Palumbo when he didn't have the knee pads. Yeah. Then when he came to WWE, it was like, let's put you some elbow pads.
When he was running with Meat.
Yeah.
The wrestler Meat before he was Meat.
The prime time players, all the references.
Wow, we are taking them back. They're like, what are these fools talking about?
Above average Mike Sanders.
The end of WCW, the New Blood. It's crazy. Those are some wild times, man. Things like if you started watching WCW in like 95 and 96 and what it ended up being in 2000, you're like, how did in 4 years do you? Another story for another day. Let's move on. We're back in Ring of Honor. Next up, we had the Outrunners, a very popular tag team. I like how they had focused on tag team wrestling here. The Outrunners, I think, I don't know if they need a win, SB3?
The Outrunners, I think that they're kind of like 2.0. I think they are
Okay.
gonna be as over as they're gonna be, so they don't need that many wins.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's kind of how I like it's like these guys, what they represent, they're over in who they are, but like, do they ever need to win? They took on homie Willie Mack and the every time I see it, it's always funny. The GCW world champion, Blake Christian, in a really fun match. I think I think that these guys randomly putting Willie Mack and Blake Christian together is interesting. It happens on Ring of Honor here where they're like, all right, we have two fun wrestlers that people like. Let's pair them together and see how it works out. They're trying to overload this tag team division. That's why I'm like, should they have put a makeshift tag team of Christian and Willie Mack over the Outrunners like they did here? Willie Mack and Blake Christian are really over, and they should get these victories here, especially with how they're building them up in Ring of Honor. But should they have beat the established tag team, who I think would make more sense to maybe start putting them over so they can also help the division?
I think it's because they're setting up babyface tag teams
Right,
for
right, right,
the
right, right.
kingdom right now. So they
Mhm.
keep the kingdom getting their heat, being the heel tag team champions. I think they need to set up some of these makeshift tag teams to get a couple of wins, get some momentum. And Willie Mack and Blake Christian kind of played that role here, or as I'm calling them, Mac Hart.
Mack Hart. Okay, that's not that bad. That's pretty good tag team, man, for the guys. Yeah, they got the victory here, and I think that Blake Christian is interesting because I think he could really get over here if they kind of invested in him. It seems like they're interesting in him. This show today, they put over some people that they don't usually put over. It was
Yeah,
interesting in some of the results, and that's how I felt about this one. Next up, they've been doing these multi-women matches the last couple weeks. I think we had a 8-women tag match last week. This week we got a 6-woman tag match. It was Lady Frost, Kiera Hogan, Trish Adora taking on Taya Valkyrie, Leila Gray, and Diamante. All these ladies are contenders for the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship. So they keep putting them in matches together to kind of show you what stories they want to tell moving forward, get you used to these ladies working together, and just kind of prep us for what this they haven't even announced if it's going to be a tournament or what it's going to be for this championship. We're just all kind of assuming that it's going to be a tournament because they're introducing us to the ladies in the match. This was great. I thought all these ladies are really fantastic in their roles. The heels got the win here, which I thought was interesting, maybe off the backs of the baby faces getting the win a couple weeks ago. Taya, I think it maybe makes even more sense that Taya's getting a shot against Diona on Dynamite. That probably makes the most sense as to why their team won. But the role that she's playing here, I like that they're reestablishing her because she's a main event women's talent. Like when she came in and they weren't making her one of the most, top women of the promotion, I was like, well, Taya is a world champion, like around the world. They should
yeah.
do it. Now they're doing it. They put her with Johnny TV, who has been tremendous in his role with Dalton Castle, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I think they're kind of established Taya again, putting her in there with Diona this week. I think it's going to be great for her brand, great for both of their brands. How did you feel about this women match? Because these women are the ones coming up. Trish being the one to take the pin. I still don't know what the hell they're doing with Trish Adora. Another story. I could talk for 5 hours on this podcast about what they're doing.
It's like Trisha Adora is the new Willow Nightingale. Like she getting the Willow treatment of 2023 right now. Like that's how it feels. But Trisha Dora was
Hey,
the MVP of this damn matchup. I thought when she came in, she brought a lot of energy to this matchup. All of her suplexes, the German suplex from her knees was the highlight of this matchup for me. I like the heel side getting the win, and I like it being Diamante who got the win, even though I thought it would make more sense if Taya got the win because you want to
right.
get her some momentum before she versus Deonna Purrazzo. But so we'll see how that works out. But I agree with you. I love the fact Taya and Johnny TV were on Dynamite this week because instantly when they were on screen together, I was like, yeah, this works for
It just
both of them.
works.
Like
Yeah.
people need to realize those two together are the best for both of them. Their best
Yeah.
runs of their career. Like if you
Right.
look at Talia, Impact, her being the
Hmm.
longest reigning knockouts world champion. Who was that alongside? Johnny.
Yeah.
Her in Lucha Underground when she came up and became a star over there. next to Johnny. AAA, when Johnny came over there, her career went to the next level. Like everywhere they go, the only place that didn't do that was WWE, and we saw how that went for her. So let's just, Tony, guys, let's just put her with Johnny, and instantly they have instant chemistry. They are like the Earth 2 Seth and Becky of a married couple that has 100% chemistry, unlike Becky and Seth, who have no chemistry together on screen.
Yeah, exactly. They should never be an on-screen couple opposite of what Johnny TV and Taya represent, especially with Johnny TV. The confidence that he has standing next to Taya is like, you have to, why would you not put him next to her in every situation? Like, he's not like this in any other situation. He's 100% him, the best he wants to be when he's next to her. Put him next to her every time. That's just a winning formula. They figured it out, I think. Good. Later in the show, we might as well get into it. Later in the show.
Oh my God. This is I'm going to preface this segment of the show. The best part of the show.
Definitely segment of the show. Lexi Nair is backstage with Jerry Lynn. They're going to, get into some ROH business. Dalton Castle in the background is running into a locker room door. Lexi's like, yo, Dalton, what the hell are you doing? Dalton's like, again, I have to get Johnny TV. He's ruining my life. I'm breaking down this door right now to kick his ass. Jerry Lynn's like, you can't
rip
come
his face off.
To rip his face off. Jerry Lynn's like, you can't interrupt interviews, dude. I'm conducting business here. He's hysterical, Dalton Castle is, so Jerry Lynn has to slap him. Immediately after, Johnny TV comes out and says, you can't face me until your TV ready. Johnny TV hits a split and
he said, I got a split.
Got a split. He hits a split and is dragged out backwards while in split formation. Split, drag, back. You have to see it with your own eyes. Another week in a row, Johnny TV steals the thing. Last week he was doing parkour randomly. This week he glides out like James Brown. SB3, what? These guys don't have a championship. They just got time, and they are having one of the best feuds of Ring of Honor. What is this?
We have, folks, the replacement for Athena and Billy Starks is Dalton Castle and Johnny TV, which is the highlight every week now, because Dalton, first of all, Dalton Castle coming out, like I just explained it to people that knew who Dalton Castle was, but not watching Ring of Honor. And I was like, yeah, Dalton does the same entrance, but he's depressed and he's eating a sandwich, and it instantly made someone want to watch it. Yeah. Like, that's how good this stuff is. It's so good. If you understand Dalton Castle's character and you see this big change to him and you see the effect Johnny's having on him, and then the backstage segment, the inclusion of Lexi Nair, who's one of their best backstage interviewers that they've ever had in AEW, Ring of Honor.
It's just all happening backstage too is the craziest part, SP. They haven't even been in the ring. This isn't even really about a match. These guys are doing skits and shenanigans, and I'm 100% invested.
I'm all here for it. Give me more of this. But the split, oh my God. I was like, wait, how did he do that? Like, I had to rewind it back. I was like, wait, how did he do that?
I want to know who pitched this idea. I have so many questions. I'll come out and then I'll say I got a split, then I'll do a split and I'll just go backwards out of there. And then Taya will come out with her face and say, haha, this was amazing. 100% 10 out of 10. Whoever booked it, great job. Just a great way to continue these guys' feud with these skits, and they're knocking out of the park. Dalton Castle is like trying to get an Oscar at this point. It's nuts.
I love it. They have so much chemistry together too. So yeah, this has been great.
And like I said, no championship. This is just vibes. That's what's great about these two guys. Next up, we had a promo with Rachel Ellering and Leila Hirsch. They're talking about, again, like I said, the Ring of Honor women's television championship. They're talking strategies. Rachel Ellering got a little snide comment of, I know how to beat you because I've been watching you, or the best way to beat you is someone who's been watching you and knows your every move. They ended up getting sushi together. How do you feel about this little story that they're telling? There's side story too with Maria, who hasn't been as involved the last couple of weeks, but where does this land with you?
I I'm okay with the story. I'm not like I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm just fine with it.
Yeah.
I think both ladies are very talented in the ring, but like I just said, the Dalton and Johnny TV and Taya
Okay.
segment, so much chemistry, so much charisma on the screen, and then there was this segment.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah, exactly. You see that, and then you're like, oh, this is like chemistry, the max. Like these guys could be married together forever. And then you see the total opposite of that of like, oh, these two people are together.
Yeah,
Oh,
this did. I was like, wow.
like, oh, I know why Maria was involved because she was like the glue holding this.
Yeah, she was the one that was bringing the charisma into this whole thing, and I mean, they didn't really even finish that part of the story. They just kind of,
No, they didn't.
Leila realized she was a jerk. Oh wow,
That was it. Maria just stopped showing up.
That was it. Like there was no payoff to that. It was like, Maria. Oh my God, Maria's a horrible person. Oh. Well, let's stop hanging out with her. Okay. That's the end. All right.
She's not our friend. She's been lying to her. All right, cool. All right, you're right.
You know what? You're right. We should just be friends. Okay, cool.
Very silly. I don't know.
I wish life was that simple, man. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, 3 weeks ago we were best friends. Now I don't know that person. I don't think it works like that, but in wrestling it does. Next up, we had a 6-man tag. It was the Iron Savages and Jack Jameson. They're good. You know what they talk about, butts and
Titty City,
Titty City, and all the things. But they're always talking about each other when they're. It's an interesting thing.
Eating ass.
Yeah. They took on the Infantry and Lee Johnson. The Infantry is so interesting because it keeps feeling like they want to push them, and like the way that they're presented, I love it. Their entrance, how they look, everything. I thought them being with Trish, loved all of it. Some weeks they want them to be contenders and people that we care about, and then other weeks it feels like they don't. They're just like kind of representing the same thing that the Outrunners do, which sounds crazy as hell. So I just I don't know. And then also Lee Johnson, who I thought they were building him up, and then that week when Christopher Daniels beat him, and I was like, what? I don't understand what happened here. They're trying to, I think, establish them back. I don't know what they're doing with the ROH 6-man championships. I don't know what's going on here, but Lee Johnson and the Infantry got the win. Lee Johnson has been improving tremendously. Like I continue to say, every single week he looks great. I think he could be put into one of these title contentions, maybe even the Pure Championship, wherever that is existing in the world. He could be put into any of these divisions and I think kind of shine. And the Infantry need to be in the tag team division. Give them some more to do.
Yeah, give them a feud. I thought they did really well with the Kingdom feud that they did last year. So just give them something to sink their teeth into, like the lower card teams. Have them feud with Maria's baby boys next if you have to. So yeah, there's stuff for them to do. I was really impressed with Carlie Bravo here. I thought he was really good when he came in for his hot tag. I thought he was the standout, and I thought he even looked better to me than Lee Johnson in this one. So I would love to see Carlie Bravo get more opportunities, more reps, even maybe in some singles matches.
Yeah, Carlie Bravo, I think, has been improving. Another one that's been improving tremendously. And the confidence that he has, it grows every single week. And I think his confidence is on max right now. That's why it's shining out on the screen. They might have to give Carlie a couple of the singles runs too, because I think he has something even more to show than what he's just been showing with the Infantry. And shout out to the captain, of course, always the best, the greatest of all time. Next up, we had a women's match. Red Velvet, they're establishing also for this women's television division. I think since she's been back SP3, she's been legit cooking in every single match. They put her in positions for a reason. And I think that she's matured and grown into this veteran role off of this injury, which I think is amazing. She took on Heather Reckless here. Heather Reckless has been featured on Ring of Honor a couple times. She's an independent wrestling standout. Red Velvet has been utilizing the old Trouble in Paradise. She's a big New Day fan. And as we all are. And I think that her new little finisher is pretty impressive, and everything that she's representing right now is impressive. If she won the television championship, I wouldn't be mad one bit. I think her coming on, having one of these Kyle Fletcher type of runs where every week she just has a dope match, would be good for her brand.
Yeah, she's one of those kind of day one AEW ladies on this roster. So I like that
Right.
she's over here. She's someone that I wouldn't even mind challenging Athena for the AEW Women's World Championship. So I
Awesome.
like her picking up the win here, and I love her using Trouble in Paradise and calling it in the mix. That is awesome.
SOS, baby. I love it. It's a great move. And shout out to Kofi Kingston. He's one of the greatest of all times. Next up, we had our homegirl, Nyla Rose, is back, causing havoc backstage. For some reason, Lexi interrupts Nyla, dumping all of Athena's gear into a trash can because she said we're doing some spring cleaning. Nyla believes that Athena's gone forever. She's never coming back. She took her out at the gym, and Nyla doesn't think anything of Athena. She thinks that's the last of her. And Lexi's like, yo, no, you're tripping. Like, Lexi's standing up to Nyla, which I think is crazy. Like, yo, Nyla's going to murder you. Lexi, why are you doing this? But that's how down Lexi is for her minionship and her homie Billy Starks and Athena. Intern or somebody comes in trying to interrupt Nyla, and she tricks him into standing on the
No,
table.
it was the cameraman. Remember?
Oh, it's the cameraman. Yeah.
She tells Lexi. She says, "Lexi, go."
Yeah, I'm like, what? I turned down around for 2 seconds. I'm like, who is this guy? She tricks the cameraman into getting on the table to take a photo from the top of a table, and then she power bombs him through a table. I can't believe he fell for that. It was just like,
she wanted to do the ceiling challenge, and then he says it's pretty unsafe up there. She says, "Yeah, I know." Power bombs him through the table. Nyla Rose was awesome in this segment. Oh, this was the second best segment of the night.
second best segment.
The best segments on the night were all, like you said, Reg, all backstage.
Backstage. Somebody, whoever's producing backstage, is really cooking. Nyla Rose power bombs the cameraman through the table, calls out Billy Starks. I mean, Billy Starks is on alert right now. You better tell Athena to come back and watch her back, because if Nyla Rose is after you, that does
She
not.
says she's the new minion overlord.
Yeah,
she trademarked it.
She took the reins of Athena's job. Athena rightfully is out having a vacation. She's the MVP of Ring of Honor, has been for a long time. But you're going to want to come back and help your people, because it's getting scary out here. That same person that Nyla Rose called out, Billy Starks, is here in action next against another St. Louis standout. Big fan. The crowds were into her. Tootie Lynn, another Glory Pro standout. If you guys haven't seen Tootie Lynn, she's tremendous. It's heart and soul. You would get into her match and want her to win more than anything. But Billy Starks is on a mission. If Nyla Rose is after you, you have to be 100%. You have to be watching your back, and you have to be on point. She wins here with the Starks Swanton Bomb to get the victory. Billy Starks, off the backs of losing to Athena at Final Battle, I think has been looking even more confident, which sounds crazy, has been looking even better, sharper in the ring, and has improved tenfold in just a month and a half or so. So I think this is a good position for her, who's also a contender for that championship, SB3. How's Starks having you feeling at this time?
I think she's definitely one of the favorites for the women's TV title tournament, because she was viewed as the favorite to kind of dethrone Athena before. So you would think that they would want the number one minion to be the first women's TV champion. I like this aggressive side to Billy. She just seems more confident and has a lot more poise in the ring. So I've been liking what I've been seeing from her since Final Battle.
Yep. Excited for you, Billy Starks. Keep cooking. You guys, coming up immediately after SP3 and I talk the rest of this Ring of Honor show, it's going to be Joel and Cresta talking TNA. They look like they're having a tremendous run right now. The matches have been insane. The production looks great. Everything looks good. So definitely stick around for them. We're going to get into a few of these super chats before we move forward, just to make sure we get them done and read. Patrick says, now ROH is doing overruns. Yeah, I don't.
Get a longer overrun than Dynamite. Dang.
I know, seriously. I don't. It's like you can do whatever amount of time you want on this show, but you could have cut 15 minutes off of this minimum.
Yeah, you could have cut a match or two or three or four.
If he would have dropped 4, we wouldn't even have known.
Exactly.
Well, homie Will Chisholm says, got to show some love to the brothers. This is how I know I'm old. I showed my daughter old ROH. She didn't like it, but she liked this ROH. Forget her.
Yo, Will's a real one. He said,
listen,
this ain't my ROH.
I'm saying it's not what I know, not the history. Well, his daughter's like, hey, bro, they cooking over here though.
She's like Cole Karter though. She's like
Straight up.
She's like, bump that Nigel McGuinness, Cole Karter.
Saying. And then our homie Meet Norma says, give Nyla everything. She's a monster and hilarious. They should have never put her with Vicky. Yeah. I don't. No comment. Nyla is back. She's cooking. But yeah, it's one of those situations of like the reason they never should have put her with Vicky is because as we can see, she could talk for herself. She doesn't need anyone to talk for her. I want her to talk more than I want anybody else to talk. So why would they pair her up with somebody? But
and it's like everybody they paired Vicky with didn't need Vicky. Andrade didn't need Vicky.
No.
Like Nyla didn't need Vicky. It's like,
no. Damn. But I get it. She was a name. She represented something. Next up, we had ROH favorite very recently here, Ethan Page. He is coming for Kyle Fletcher and that Ring of Honor World Television Championship. I think I don't know how I feel because it's like he came in wanting the Ring of Honor World Championship and he didn't really get to execute that plan. And with how the Ring of Honor World Championship is in the Triple Crown with Eddie Kingston now, that there's not an emphasis on it at all. Honestly, they're not telling the story on this show at all. And I feel like, damn, we had a final battle without the Ring of Honor World Championship, and that still hurts me. So it's like, I'm glad that Ethan is switching focus and still trying to be essentially the top guy of Ring of Honor. Just hurts that it's not for the Ring of Honor World Championship, right?
I hope that they figure out something to give us, like, even if it's an AEW Continental Crown Championship matchup at Super Ring of Honor. Because if you're he's still having these Ring of Honor pay-per-views without a Ring of Honor World Championship matchup or something to replace that, yeah, it's not going to feel the same.
I mean, if Bryan Danielson is that super card, like that's
how you bring the feels to anything. That's how Final Battle we was able to be like, all right, it's all right.
We can let anything pass. Bryan Danielson here. All right, I'll let this one pass. I think it's an easy way out, and Tony Khan knows that though. He does. I mean, we're seeing that's it in Yuji Nagata on Saturday. We know what time it is.
It's like, I'm going against Royal Rumble. You Nagata, you want to come over? You want to come over with
Brian? Who do you want to wrestle? Yuji Nagata. Okay, cool. They'll love that. Yeah, we do love that. We can't wait.
We're sickos. Yes, that's us.
Sicko alerts. After that was that Lexi Page and Lexi Nair and Dalton Castle thing. Very dope. After that, we had Robin Renegade taking on the debuting in ring Abaddon. They have been establishing themselves here on the show just by coming out and being like, Abaddon's here to murder all of you guys when it's time. Be ready. They finally put them in a ring against Robin Renegade. I don't know where Charlotte is. Charlotte injured? Have they said?
It seems like that because we've only been seeing Robin, so I'm gonna assume that Charlotte.
Yeah, because the last like 3 or 4 weeks, Robin's been either in like a multi-women match or something, not with her tag team partner, and I just want to see them. I think that's a tag team that they need to have as a tag team on the show because the Renegades are great, and bring back the Hex. Every time I talk about Ring of Honor tag team, I'm like, yo, why isn't the Hex? We saw them on the show, put them on the show. But they had a fun match. Abaddon is a character that people want to get behind. Every time they're presented on TV, fans are like, we love Abaddon. The crowd's into it. It's like, I don't understand why they only bring them out for the spooky shit, but like it's a spooky character, but like it doesn't have to be Halloween for us to see Abaddon. And I'm like that they're establishing them in this division because I think it's a needed thing. More characters, more stuff like this in the division.
And more reps. Yes,
More reps.
I want to see Abaddon more often. They are very talented. They have a unique character that stands out wherever they are. So I like them on the Ring of Honor roster. I like them in the women's TV title tournament as well, because I think they're going to be like the dark horse in the tournament.
Definitely. You guys coming up very soon is Joel and Cresta with the Impact Wrestling Show. We got post show. We got a couple of more matches before you guys get into that. Up next, we had the aforementioned John Cruz. You didn't see him earlier in the show. This is the first time that you've seen him against California's own from Sacramento, California. He cartwheels his way into your heart. Jack Cartwheel. How do you feel about Jack Cartwheel, SB3? I've seen him many times before locally in small independent shows. So to see him get this opportunity in Ring of Honor is great. Got his first victory. We've seen him on Ring of Honor a couple of times. Anytime someone that's like not signed or like establishing like this gets a victory, it's always like, what? What does that mean? What is that? So this kind of felt like that today. So how do you feel about Jack Cartwheel?
You know what ring my bell that I was like, oh, he signed a deal. I'm gonna be the Shawn Ross
victory mean
no. You know what I got? You know how I said it before the victory. You know how I knew? He got a video wall. He got a whole video. Yeah. He got a whole video wall. New music. I was like, yeah, he got that per appearance deal. That's why we didn't see the All Elite graphic, but definitely got that per appearance deal because he got a video wall and a win back to back. So yeah,
like, have they done a video wall for someone who's not signed? I don't know.
I'll be on. Y'all should just be on the lookout for the Fightful Select extras coming up. John's gonna do his due diligence.
This is SP3. Don't put nobody else on the line.
Exactly. That's what I said. Sean got to do the due diligence. I am a tea leaf reader. That's what I do. That's what I do on this. When I do podcasts, I just put the tea leaves together. Oh, this is connected. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 4. Okay, cool.
It's just dots, man. Especially as wrestling fans, that's just how we do it. So yeah, really cool stuff. And if Jack Cartwheel did do that, shout out to Jack Cartwheel. Yeah. Next up was a very hard-hitting brawl. Anthony Henry, I think them establishing the workhorsemen in the singles matches, I think is cool. JD Drake had a really fun one with Hangman a couple weeks ago, as we know. On this show, Anthony Henry took on the water drinkingest person in the whole world, young action hydrated Andretti, who drank a little bit of water during his match. Action Andretti has been an interesting journey. They've establishing him with Top Flight. I thought they were going to be a 6-man, but they got Top Flight as a tag team, mixing it up with Private Party, mixing it up with the Young Bucks this week. So Action Andretti's here in singles action. He gets the victory against Anthony Henry. Anthony Henry is really good for these short, like you give Anthony Henry 8 minutes and you say, just go nuts. He's great for stuff like that. So I thought this was a really fun match. Action Andretti could be established in one of these singles divisions too, if needed be. So nothing too egregious here, right?
Yeah, he's one of the guys I could see like in the TV title tournament. I just don't understand why hydration is his gimmick, but that's
I don't. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Drinking a big bottle of water. That's his
that's his gimmick.
I didn't know that could be a gimmick, but watching TikTok videos and stuff, kids like that shit. Like,
this is for the kids. I'm not a kid anymore.
If they start selling Action Andretti water bottles at the show.
Oh dear God! Don't give them ideas.
What you mean, man? Like everybody's trying to make money here.
It's true. It's true.
Action Andretti hit a split-legged moonsault for the win. That was dope. Then we had a 4-way, 4-corner survival. Rocky Romero, Slim J, Josh Woods, and JD Drake. Just 4 guys beating the crap out of each other. JD Drake, like I said, he's been in this workhorseman thing. They could be a tag team being established too for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships if needed be, but they got him here and here. Josh Woods, I don't know what the hell they're doing with him. He should be in the pure division. Seems like they established him. They said he was going to beat Shibata, then they just totally forgot about it. Slim J plays a really good role here too. And Rocky Romero is the unsung hero of all professional wrestling. Only good words ever needs to be spoken about him. He got the win here, well deserved. There's a lot of stuff we would never see or never happen if it wasn't for him. So shout out to Rocky Romero.
God bless Rocky Romero, the real Forbidden Door, the man
I'm
that opened the
saying.
door for everything in the U.S. for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. Shout outs to Rocky Romero, a Ring of Honor OG. So I liked him getting the win here, and I was very surprised he got the win here because
Me too.
I looked at the four of these guys and I was like, well, Josh Woods is the only one that
Woods.
regularly gets wins, so I guess he wins. But this is a cool opportunity, like you said earlier, to give someone new a win, and it got Rocky a win here, who's always having good matches, whether it's on AEW Rampage, a AEW Dynamite, a Collision, or here on Ring of Honor. And this was another good matchup. And like you said, everybody played their roles well.
Yeah, these guys are being established for the television title, maybe the pure title. There's so many things you could kind of do here. Really fun match to kind of do it. And to end the show, we had the pure proving ground match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. The Kingdom took on Gringo, Loco, and Gravity. Gravity looked better than I've seen him for most weeks, which is an improvement, but I'm still like, of all the great luchadors you have, I don't know if we should be seeing Gravity. No shade to him. It's just like you got a locker room full of the best in the world, and on the ladder of luchadors, he falls pretty low. But Gringo Loco's the base god, one of the best basers, one of the best flyers, one of the best everything there is in wrestling right now. So to see him here, I think is great. But the Kingdom is here. They are angry. They are being who I thought they should be a year ago, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. They win here with the spiked pile driver, and they look good. I like the theme. I like everything. I like that how they presented post this Joker angle. The rest of them, that's another story for another day. But I do like what the Kingdom are doing.
You said it's a story for another day, but that's all I could think of is that, man, it's nice to see the Kingdom being booked effectively somewhere. The Undisputed Kingdom, because they got a great theme song. The t-shirts look good, but I feel like they have been fumbling this whole angle since week 1. When you had Cole say he's gonna Wardlow's gonna relinquish the title, hand it over to him, it was like, damn, you done teased the breakup. Oh, you done teased one of the members leaving the group on week 1.
And you can't even stand up. I almost ripped my pants off. I'm like, this guy can't even stand up. Why are you the leader or something, dude?
Then week 2, week 1, they told us, oh, we're going after all these titles. We're going after all these titles. Week 2, they didn't care. Orange Cassidy had a match on Dynamite. They didn't care. Samoa Joe had come out, and all the other challengers who wanted to get a shot at Samoa Joe came out, except for Wardlow. Then week 3, you get Roddy come out and challenge Orange Cassidy, not for next week, not for 2 weeks. No, he says, I'm going to make you think about it. That only works if you're the champion, sir. That does not work. And this group desperately needs wins and championships. What are you doing? No one's buying Revolution for Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy. It's going to be a great match, but no one's going to buy a ticket or a pay-per-view buy for that matchup. And I guarantee you they would be more interested in that damn matchup if Orange Cassidy, the former champion, was going after Roderick Strong. Maybe we would have a damn chance with this group. What the hell? I had faith. I was like, oh, after the whole devil storyline got broken down, I was like, oh, here comes the good part. Here comes the good part. Undisputed Kingdom. Here comes the good part. No. It's been DOA. What are we doing?
I feel so sorry for Wardlow. Like I said last night on the post show, change his name, change his gear, change his look, change everything. Have Wardlow come out on Wednesday and say, stop calling me Wardlow. My name is my real name. That's it. This has been the Ring of Honor post show, SP3. Dude, you're so cool for joining me. We're about to bring our friends for the Impact post show. This is how you end a Ring of Honor post show with one of us ranting. I let SP3 take the reins here. That's how the Undisputed Kingdom gets us, because what are y'all doing? Another story for another day, though. We appreciate y'all. We're bringing our friends in. Joe Burrow's here. Cresta's here.
SP3 had a lot to say on this evening, Your Honor.
You okay there? I don't think he's okay, Joe.
I wanted this to be good. I wanted it to be good. That's all.
I love how Reg is like, Oh yeah, and Wardlow should come out and he should be like, "This is my real name." His real name is Michael Wardlow, for Christ's sake.
Damn, drag her. Got her. Got it. Do you
I
even
need-
watch wrestling, Reg?
I need the first name too, Joe. I need the Michael. Okay, it's not enough
Throw
for
that
me.
Michael on it.
Oh, now I take him serious. His name's Michael.
Mikey Warlow, come on.
Did you just say Mikey Wardlow?
Mikey
No.
Warlow.
Yeah.
Mikey Warlow.
Okay, you guys, tell me about Chris Bay and Kevin Knight before I get up out of here.
Buddy, I saw this match live and I said, "This is good." Go out of your way. Go out of your way to watch it. It was really fantastic stuff.
Kevin Knight looked beefy here. He looked like he was in
I'm
the
saying.
gym.
Yeah,
He looked like he
yeah.
was putting in
Working.
work.
Yeah.
These two have a chemistry. That match was fantastic. And shout outs to Kevin Knight and Ace Austin for one, Kevin Knight coming out by himself, and two, Ace Austin not cheating.
Baby faces. Hey, you know what the big news is? Mustafa Ali's coming to TNA.
I've been seeing it in the
Oh,
chat.
they announced
They
that?
hit us. They hit us with the Marvel finish at the end of the night.
I
They
love
did
it.
Flash, and then they brought up the Ali
Yo.
promo.
Nice.
I didn't
That's
see it. I
hot.
turned off to be here on time. So that's what I get for showing up early.
TNA on Spike
Go
TV.
TNA.
It's a right here for WWE.
We're back,
Hey.
baby.
We back, we up.
I
And
don't know, that's
Okada was on
awesome, though.
TNA tonight. What are you talking about? We was good. We was up tonight.
I'm about to watch that.
I'm about to
You
watch
guys,
TNA right now. Yeah.
SP3, thanks for joining us. You guys have a great show. Everybody in the chat, y'all are the best. I'm about to go watch this TNA show. Y'all are cool.
Go have fun.
Am I? Later,
Peace.
guys.
Take care.
Good night.
Oh, it's time, baby. Hi, Chris.
I'm ready.
How you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic. Besides the carpal tunnel, I don't have ligaments. My hand was killing me writing notes. I type with these fingers, Joel. Okay, so I don't type fast. I got the crab hands going on.
We gotta get you. I don't know. Can you be like a court stenographer? Maybe get those lessons in. Though they got to type fast too, but they don't do a typical keyboard. They got like a condensed keyboard.
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I don't know. Mavis Beacon failed me. If that's a dated joke, well, I'll be.
No. If you go to any court, a court stenographer, the keyboard that they use is not a traditional keyboard. It's a smaller one. And it's got like different keys. It's really
Are
cool.
you saying I type 400 words a minute because it's a smaller keyboard with my crab hands?
I'm saying you could with those crab hands. You might be able to get it. I don't know.
Let's get this clown show on the road.
We gotta get you taken care of with that. I don't know what it is. Anyway, hi Chad, how you doing? Let's go. For audio friends, are you ready, Cresta Star?
I was born ready.
Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a... Hello, friends. We're back again. It's Fightful.com. It is January 25th, 2024, and it's time for your TNA Impact post show. I am Actual Pearl, and of course, Cresta Star is here. So why don't we get right to it? Because today has kind of sucked. Hi, Cresta Star. How are you?
Oh, wow. I mean, this wasn't like of all the shows we've had, this wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was okay.
Oh, I'm not saying the show was bad. I quite enjoyed it. I'm saying the news of the day, which we're not going to get into.
Oh, you know what? I
Hey,
put that
stop.
so far out of my mind. I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm like, I enjoyed it. Am I missing something? Like, okay, I got it.
You're
I'm
good.
picking up what you're putting down, but I don't think about those affairs of a deranged man.
Yes, we're not going to talk about that. I just wanted to point out that tonight's show definitely gave me a lot more to enjoy compared to the rest of the day. How you
That's
doing,
true.
Star? How are you?
I'm okay. I'm excited. I had said in my notes 3 times tonight that what a week for wrestling. Seeing Adam Copeland versus Ishii in AEW. And then I got to see Okada in TNA. And I got to see Nick Nemeth versus Zachary Wentz in TNA. What timeline am I living in? Who has universe mode on? What is happening?
The greatest timeline is what you got to see tonight.
Honestly, what a time to be a wrestling fan. Like, this is truly the best pure chaos, and I love it. And I love that we live in a time that wrestlers can go to any company and find success and be viable. I love this. I love this. I love this.
Big news of the night, of course, Kazuchika Okada makes his TNA return in a big 6-man tag in our main event. I walked into that main event when I saw it live saying, Okada's going to pin Myers. I know it's coming. And then I got half of it right. I really 2/3.
Sorry, Suzuki. I'm
Ooh.
sorry, y'all.
Oh,
Chat was letting me have it. Chat was letting me have it. sorry.
I completely had forgotten that you said Ishii and you meant Suzuki. It happened.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, they're getting at you now. Good on them.
It's fine. Let me have it. I mean, we all make mistakes. Thank you for educating me.
That's what we're here for. If nothing else, we are educational. So you have Okada coming back to TNA, a great moment. And of course, the big surprise at the end of the night, Mustafa Ali is going to be making his TNA debut in the near future. Now, we don't talk about spoilers, but I will talk about the fact that the next really a month of tapings, they have 4 episodes in the can now from the tapings in Florida. Ali, listen, I'll put this out there. I don't think he's on those. He'll probably have pre-tape promos, but I feel like he'll make his debut at No Surrender. And we'll talk a little bit about that and more, but it's exciting times for TNA. They're really starting off with a bang. You didn't see the promo, but your thoughts on Ali coming over to TNA?
Honestly, this goes back to what I literally just said. What a time to be a wrestling fan. You know, Ali in TNA, he's an asset no matter where he goes. I love his gimmick that he's running right now, his presidential campaign of the world gimmick that he's got. He's so good. He's such a good wrestler. And I'm excited to see that kind of gimmick in TNA, because TNA is, I think, would eat that up with their backstage gimmick. I think, oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna use the system instead. I'm thinking about the system right now, how they're even doing it in restaurants and being kind of cheesy with it. Something like a presidential campaign. Oh my God. TNA would do it so much, the right amount of sports entertainment justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's an exciting time. A lot of people were expecting Ali to show up at Hard to Kill. Of course, he was working that night, but this is expectedly unexpected, is how I'd put it.
It's nice. Honestly, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this year and where TNA is going to go. Because if this is what we're getting in January, yes.
And we'll be here every step of the way, especially when you leave a thumbs up on the video. And of course, subscribe to us here at youtube.com/Fightful. If you are in the audio realm, go ahead and leave us a 5 stars. Whether you're doing Apple, or if you're on Spotify, or maybe you're listening on Overcast, which is what I use for my podcast, highly recommended, by the way, go ahead, leave a 5-star review, because that gets your friends talking about our friends, talking about your friends with our friends in our ears and your ears. Come and join the ear party, okay? So many ears. You got super kick parties. We're talking ear parties. Are you okay over there? Now you're just muted. This is great. This is great audio.
Now.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, is it working?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Let's get right into it. The Cross the Line intro is back, and I love it. I'm very happy to see the old TNA Impact stuff back into the TNA fold. Let's talk about Chris Bay versus Kevin Knight. Saw it live, and it ruled. Chris Bay is a Las Vegas native, so that was always going to get a good pop. And Kevin Knight sporting some new gear, looking fresh, looking good. Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees is in the crowd, and the first thing I think to myself is, we couldn't spring for a Backstreet Boy.
I mean, maybe he just wanted to see the show, Joel.
They put him on camera. Nick Lachey wasn't available. Joey Fatone.
I didn't know.
Everyone's like, Jeff Timmons is great. I'm like, that's great. Who was Jeff Timmons in the group?
I didn't know you were a boy band connoisseur. My apologies.
Maybe I am. You see the guitars in the background. I didn't discriminate what I played. I played whatever I was paid for.
I don't know who that man was, but I'm saying good on him. I'm just saying maybe he bought a ticket. Maybe he just likes professional wrestling. Joel, why are you being a heel?
I'm not. I'm just asking you. I'm asking the important questions. I am a journalist here.
He's asking the hard, real questions.
That's right. Put me in front of Jeff Timmons and be like, why were you there?
That's crazy. Maybe he likes professional wrestling. Wow,
Maybe.
You're such a heel. Such a heel.
Anyway, let's talk about the match. Bay gets the win with a huge finesse with the win. What do you think of this whole thing?
Kevin Knight looked amazing. Like I was saying in the crossover, he looked jacked. Like, holy crap, he put in the work. I also liked the logo on the ring. I don't know. It gives me like a UFC MMA, like a big fight feel. I really liked it. Overall, this match was amazing. The backside pin on Bay from Knight was really nice. And that transition into the elbow on the spine tonight was really good. I thought this match is not always, sorry. I'm crazy tonight. I don't know what's happening. Everything is off. My brain is off, okay? I thought this match was great. You guys should watch it. They've had a great chemistry from before.
I'm the one who's supposed to be off because I do a morning show, and here I am, 10:30 at night when I'm normally sleeping. Here we are.
I work 7 days a week, Joel.
Now, someone in the comments will be like, "Oh, they're complaining about their real life."
We're shooting over here.
Anyway, let's get to the post-match. Grizzled young veterans come out. They take out Ace of Base and they hit Bay with Grit Your Teeth. And they hold those big old tag team titles above their head. And backstage, they cut a promo about being number one, being disrespected by being put in the four-way tag team match at Hard to Kill. Out comes Santino Marella, of course. He's being serious. I give him that. Still has the accent. At least he isn't calling them like the grizzled veterans of young or something like that. Ace of Base show up and security keeps them at bay. And then Santino announces a best of 3 series for the tag titles. And it starts next week. I have a feeling, Cresta Star, call me crazy, that the third match in this series may happen at, No Surrender, which is the next big event for TNA. What do you think of this whole thing? GYV and Ace of Base about to tie up for a little while.
I don't hate it. However, as much as I love ABC, I could see Grizzled Young Veterans taking it off of them. And I wouldn't hate it. These are great teams, but I think Grizzled Young Veterans talked about it in their single promo too, when they say our resume speaks for itself. We don't wait in line. We've beaten everybody in Europe and we've come to do the same. And I think it'd be great for Ace of Base to drop the title for a while, if you know what I mean. And I think this is a good team to drop it to.
If they're sticking around, absolutely. If they're in and then they're out, I'm not so big on that, but we'll see what they do. I like the idea. I like the idea of doing a best of 3 with these guys and really showing off what kind of work they can do. NYU's 99 saying Joel Pearl turning up the heel heat to 98 degrees. God bless. Hey, you can donate a super chat, any amount, get your question statement right on the air. And of course, it supports us here. By the way, if you want, you can also donate a Humper Chat over at humperchats.com. Cresta Star, reboot your brain and tell them how.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can take your fingers, whether you're using your phone or your keyboard, type in humperchat.com. Any dollar amount will get your comment or question read on air. And you can say, Cresta, why is your brain off tonight? Or Joel Pearl, why are you being a heel? We'll read it live on air. We get to keep a little bit more. We're happy. Sean Ross Sapp is happy. Decepticons are happy. Humperchats.com. Ding.
Tell us in the comments below, who was your favorite boy band? How about that?
My favorite boy band, honestly, O-Town.
Oh yeah. Butterfly Kiss? No, was that them?
No.
Was that Come On Lady, You're My Butterflies?
No. O-Town was Liquid Dreams. I dream about a girl who's a mix of destiny. Exposed in 4K.
I love it. People saying NSYNC. There you go. Speaking of boy bands, Ash by Elegance. She is a teardrop, shimmering and incandescent as it falls. Her form is perfect and complete, alluring in its movements, its mystery, its magnificence. She is a deluge, an ocean, undeniable, irresistible, unforgettable. She is Ash by Elegance.
What in the Calvin Klein commercial?
Yeah, that's what we are.
I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm giving peace a chance. I'm gonna wait till I see it, because every time I get down on a promo, TNA Impact has a habit of proving me wrong. So I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna let it play out.
She's got her debut match coming up. It's going to be either next week or the week after. It looks like it's going to be a really solid intro for Ash Live. This presentation is so over the top and it's so corny, but it's so perfect for what we're doing that I kind of want to see it. I think these promos are they're so stupid in the best way. You know what I mean? Where you see it and you're just like, it's Krusty with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. You're like, what the hell was that? That's what we're dealing with Ash by Elegance.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment. That's why I said I'm gonna let it play out, because for me, it's like you said, it's right on that razor's edge of this is corny and what's happening here.
Yeah, I don't want to look, but I can't look away.
Yeah, like, what are you doing over there? And you're not gonna give me. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
And it's even fun, like, because like Ashley she's a beautiful woman. So like you want to watch and you want to see, but at the same time you hear this overdub of this guy with a deep male voice just doing the thing, and you just can't help but watch because you're rubbernecking. You're like, oh, she's so pretty, but God, that's so corny.
Is this a wrestling promo, or am I watching a wrestling cologne ad? Like it's borderline genius, and I have to let it play out because I have a feeling this is going to be better than I expected, because the Joe Hendry things almost got me too. So
speaking of Joe Hendry, while he wasn't on the show, they go back to Frankie Kazarian, and he's like, hey, next week I'll talk about my actions and what I did to Eric Young and why it's my time. And then Rich Swann walks in and confronts him. And Kaz is like, nah, I took matters into my own hands, and judging by your loss record, you should probably do the same. Swann's like, yeah, GTFO. And then AJ Francis walks in, who of course has some issues with Joe Hendry of himself. And he says, I should be in your corner when you face Joe Hendry next time. I'll upgrade you to first class. I'll be your dude. I'll be your dog. And Swann's like, nah, no thanks, and walks away. I don't hate where this is going. I like that Rich Swann is getting a little bit of character development out of this, and that AJ Francis and Swann supposedly have a background and a history. This was cool. What do you think of this whole transition, Kazarian, Francis, and Rich Swann?
What did Rich Swann do to get disrespected twice in one backstage promo? When Frankie Kazarian said, judging by your loss record, maybe you should do the same. I was like, Rich Swann was just trying to be a friend to you because you're kind of being a jerk right now. And you just really shot him in the knee. And then AJ Francis, who I see it in chat too, but that's all I kept thinking is the Cheez It champ came out and was like, you're still riding in the back of the plane. You can say what you want about me, but I'm the Cheez It champ, and what are you the champ of? You're still in the back of the plane. I was like, damn. All Rich Swann is trying to do is be a friend of the forest, and you guys are just really letting him have it. For no reason. He's not even a heel. He didn't even do anything.
We got a super chat earlier from the ROH post show. I'm just going to read it now. It says, I'm sorry, Adam Cole, like SP3 says, leave the memories alone. Thank you, Will Chisholm, for the super chat. I wanted to make sure that got in there. I'll pass it to SP3 so we can have a good laugh as well. Yeah, I like where this is going. I like that AJ Francis is being put into a story that's not just him versus Joe Hendry. It's him and Rich Swann and Joe Hendry. When they taped the explosion match for Joe Hendry and Rich Swann, I was like, what are we doing here? What's the point of this? And I like that they're growing on this. Don't ask me where Explosion is airing, because it certainly has not taken over the BTI that no longer airs on the TNA YouTube channel. So if someone wants to tell me where Explosion's airing internationally, I will be all ears. Probably won't be able to watch it because I don't have cable, but I'm still listening. I'll just inquire. I could just ask TNA about it. But anyway, not important. Let's move on. Dirty Dango and Oleg Prudius take on Damian Drake and Dante King. This Cresta Star was high comedy. It was stupid as hell, but I loved it. Dirty Dango on his phone the entire time while Prudius just beats the brakes off of these two guys. And then Dango comes in, ends his phone call, gets the pin and the win. Great bit. This works, and it's so stupid. And I think you disagree.
No, that is the face of, you are absolutely right. This match was the best stupid. I didn't even write that other young man's name down. All I got is Damian Drake. I couldn't even tell you who the other man was. The fact that Dirty Dango the whole time was like this on his phone to just get in and be like, yeah, all right, hold on, let me get this in. Squish squash is what I have for the finish, which is kind of sad. It was a nice showcase for Oleg Prudius, I guess, but he doesn't get paid by the hour,
Not at all. He comes in, just does his thing. Dango's getting ready for his next big acting thing. I don't know. He just hates professional wrestling, something that we can all feel today.
Professional wrestling sucks.
Just the worst. And God bless Alpha Bravo, matching his vest and his pants with his shoes. Oh, and his hat. Come on.
So late 90s, early 2000s. I loved it.
That guy. You want to talk about boy bands? Alpha Bravo should be in a boy band with that fit.
ain't nothing but a heart.
Ain't nothing but a Bravo thing, okay, is what that is.
This man is a marketing genius.
I'm a lot of things. I don't know about that. Knockouts World Championship on the line. Trinity gets a rematch contractually as it is against Jordynne Grace. I think in some ways this was better than their hard to kill match. I think in some ways this was presented differently. They obviously went shorter time because it's television. You only got 6 to 8 minutes versus a pay-per-view where you can go double that. But I think they got their stuff in. They did it quick. They went home. I said this on Twitter and I stand by it. I think Trinity, the two things, Trinity, Naomi, whatever you want to call her, as she starts to potentially move over to WWE, the two things that she's worked her hardest at, and it shows, is selling and her transitions. And when she transitions into Starstruck, they've gotten so crisp and so smooth. That cannot be understated. She has come a very long way. She does not win the match, of course, because we know what's happening. This is not a write-off because afterwards, Giselle Shaw shows up with the entourage. They knock out both Trinity and Grace. Shaw hits the denouement on Trinity and then poses with that big red X that she wanted hard to kill. Let's talk about the match, Cresta. What do you think about the Knockouts World Championship match?
I want to say I loved Trinity in Impact. If there was any doubt that she couldn't work or she couldn't do anything, I really feel like she proved everybody wrong. This match was stiff. I gotta say, Trinity was working real stiff tonight. I thought I'd never say that about Trinity. To me, she's more of a smooth operator, kind of more of a technician. But tonight she was like, after this handshake, it was go. I give her respect. I also got to shout out this superplex into the Juggernaut bomb for only 2. And that was so crazy because after that, she did a full Nelson on Grace, a full Nelson pop-up butt bomb, but it was still only 2. I wanted Trinity to win so bad, but I did see it on Twitter that she was leaving and whatever it is. So I'm hoping wherever she goes, they treat her with the same respect that TNA treated her because she's so good. She's so good. And I think that there's no doubt the resume speaks for itself. The only person who pinned her twice is the champion. And that's not a bad way to go out.
Yeah, exactly. She only went with 2 singles losses so far on her TNA career. We don't give spoilers here, but she was promoted for the TNA tapings in Orlando. So they have happened. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but she was promoted as part of it. So Trinity is going to be back on the show. This wasn't her final appearance. But yeah, you mentioned that superplex into the Juggernaut jackhammer. That almost looked rough. It looked like they were about to have some issues with that because Jordynne had to pick up Trinity up to that jackhammer, and it looked like she almost had trouble with it, and the landing looked like it was going to be bad, but no, they pulled it out and everything looked good. The full Nelson bomb was great because Jordynne Grace goaded Trinity into it. Just, how badly do you want it? And she picks her up and gets it. And then I like the finish. It's a really weird finish that works because they're trading these 1 count back and forth. They do that spot, which I don't normally like it, but I like that Trinity turns it into Starstruck, and then Jordynne Grace turns that into the reversal and the pin that gets her the victory. That worked for me because normally I hate those 1 and then back 1 and then back 1, and that it just gets kind of silly, and it's just like by the time it ends, they do the standoff and the crowd is just like, yeah, they clap and they appreciate it. But this was a good way to finish the match because it looked like it kind of came out of nowhere when in reality it didn't. It was a good spot. I liked it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because in this way, I feel like it protects Trinity just a little bit, saying that if she had not reversed it and pinned you, she would have tapped out. That's my mindset thinking to it.
Yeah, totally agree. Josh Alexander is backstage. He's happy because he's had some good days and some good victories. He's winning matches against Alexander Hammerstone. He's winning matches against Will Ospreay last week. And then he's like, everything's coming up Josh Alexander. And then his little brother, Alan Angels, shows up and invites him onto his new talk show. The soundcheck. You can't tell me they don't look like brothers. I mean, the bald head and the beard. And
I'm already having a rough night. Please.
Come on. What? You can't. Come on. They look like brothers.
I will say it was giving very Kid Brother the overall promo.
Look at them.
Oh my God. Why do you have the bitch?
You can't tell me that's like Mom told me you have to bring me to the movies with your friends, and Josh is just like, fine. Thanks, bro.
That is very much that. I will say that is very much that. That is very much. Come on, you have to come to my new show. And you would say you play guitar, my band, and we're gonna have a band jam. Come on, please.
So Alan Angels has a new talk show. It's called The Sound Check, which is apropos because Angels is basically like the roadie that nobody's paying attention to. Check 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2, and then he walks off the stage. I like Alan Angels. We've been talking about having a new gimmick for him. The Nickelback one got stolen by Joe Hendry, so now we got to find a new one for him.
Joel, you're on fire tonight. You are on fire tonight.
I'm tired too. That's
This is a very serious post show, y'all. Very serious.
If you're here for a serious TNA post show, we're not it. We're gonna have fun with it, but like we'll tell you when things weren't great, and there was stuff that I didn't exactly love. But this is fine. Again, Josh Alexander is a man without a plan right now. He's not going after any championship. He ultimately wants to go after the TNA World Title, but he knows that he's got to build his way back up. And so, what do you do between now and then? You have him beat guys and look good doing it, and that's what Josh does. And then eventually he'll get his title match. But for now, he's already hot, but you got to heat him back up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt, I think, Alan Angels to either get beat up or lose or even get mentored, because we're assuming that Alan Angels is going to do some shenanigans and Josh Alexander is going to beat him up. Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he actually mentors him and says, yo, what are you doing? You could be better than this. Who knows where it could go? I'm sports entertained. I do like the little brother aspect. Now that you've said it, I can't unsee it. But in my notes, literally, I wrote, he got punked on to be into a show, and it was given. Come on, be on my show, please, please, please.
Yeah, it was perfect. And
it was great.
Inevitably, it's going to end up with Nick Nemeth versus Josh Alexander. Because again, Nemeth's whole trajectory to the world title is him facing off against, the low card to build. They're building him to the title match whenever that happens. And Josh Alexander is inevitable. And they could be building Josh to lose to Nick Nemeth. And that's okay, because they clearly see something in Nemeth. We're about to talk about Nick Nemeth versus Zachary Wentz. Let's just get to it right now. He's going to beat Zachary Wentz. This is actually Nemeth's first match outside of WWE. I know that he did the match in Puerto Rico. This match was taped before that. So this match was actually his first match outside of WWE. Match was fine. I'm going to say right now, I hope that he tries some new moves, some new transitions, adds to his arsenal. I felt like I was still watching Dolph Ziggler. And that's not a bad thing, because Nick Nemeth as Dolph Ziggler was a really good wrestler. I want Nick Nemeth to be a little bit different and just do something, just something different, something that's not Danger Zone. Call it the knick-knack, please, for the love of Christ. He gets the win. And there was some good stuff. The full Nelson inside out slam from Wentz also looked very good. I want you to talk about this match a little bit. Nemeth and Wentz.
So I'm not that well versed in Nick Nemeth, formerly not because I have knick-knack stuck in my head. Damn it, Joel.
Dolph Ziggler.
Formerly Dolph Ziggler. I'm not that well versed in his matches because I'm a little newer to wrestling or watching it. And when he was in WWE, he was there with It Should Have Been Me, and then I feel like he was gone for a while. Dirty Dogs, and then he was gone. So I like this match actually. I also wrote too, it's kind of wild seeing Nick Nemeth in TNA versus Zachary Wentz. When you see Adam Copeland this week too, it's crazy. It's a good time to be a fan. I do agree that the Danger Zone should be the knick-knack now. That's all I'm thinking about. That Joel, you're on fire, but I don't know. Why you thought it was okay, if you don't mind me asking?
Why do I think the match was just okay?
Yeah.
Because these two are really good at doing the moves. These two are really good at having a match. I felt like I watched a Dolph Ziggler match. When you had Nick Nemeth last week talk about how he's trying to be himself and he's never been anyone but Dolph Ziggler, and he's trying to get used to being Nick Nemeth. Now, this could be that he eventually transforms his moveset in little ways to make himself a little different, and that he's just now trying to shed whatever this is. It's not ring rust, but we'll call it ring rust for the sake of argument. And
I see
then
what you mean.
he kind of built from there. If that's the story that they end up telling, then I'm gonna look back and say, okay, I get it. But if it's still gonna be Nick Nemeth, but he's wrestling the same style that he did as Dolph Ziggler, like move for move, transition for transition, then I'm not as invested. I just want to see something a little different, a little building on.
I get what you mean, because Trinity was definitely different from Naomi.
Yeah, you get it. And there were little, and when she came in and she started doing stuff like Starstruck was a new finish for her. We're still doing the zigzag. We're just calling it the knick-knack for all intents and purposes. I don't care what you call it on Showtime, Hannafin. It's called the Danger Zone. No, it's called the knick-knack now.
That's free. That's so free. And it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, why wouldn't you call? Anyway, post-match, Trey McGill tries to attack Nick Nemeth, and he gets hit with the knick-knack, and then out comes Steve Macklin. Macklin tries to attack Nemeth. He goes for KIA, and then Nemeth hits Macklin again with the knick-knack. So this was knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
That's a great finisher. If you're in a duo, it could be knick-knack, paddywhack. And if you're in a trio, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
Subculture, we're coming back, baby. They're gonna do Miguel versus Nemeth next, and again, we're building, and I like that this is building Nemeth. This is match by match. He's gonna go up the card, and eventually, because again, Zachary Wentz is a former TNA tag team champion, or Impact World Tag Team champion. Trey Miguel is a former tag team and X Division champion. Macklin, who's presumably coming up at No Surrender, that is a former world champion. So there are layers that are being built for Nemeth to go out the card and make sense of his story as he tries to go for the TNA world title. That works for me, but I hope that he just kind of changes up and down and does some stuff differently. I was a little surprised that Macklin didn't get the upper hand on this.
Same. I thought that was a little weird that he got hit with the knick-knack afterwards.
But I don't hate it.
Yeah, no, it keeps Nick Nemeth strong.
Yeah, because you don't want to come in and immediately make him look like an idiot just because he got, beat down by the heel right after the match.
I mean, on the one hand, I wouldn't hold it against him because he did just get jumped by two guys and then another guy came out and jumped him. So I wouldn't hate it too bad, but it's like, okay, it keeps him strong.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. But this was, again, match was fine. Post-match built exactly as it should. Crazy Steve with the circus promo. Now, for those who don't remember, Crazy Steve, when he was brought in about almost 15 years ago to TNA, he was a circus clown. He was a sad clown. They're starting to kind of bring that around, but give him the deranged circus clown look that he has today. And he kind of had a circus clown promo where he's saying he doesn't need to listen to anybody anymore. Doesn't need to listen to Tommy Dreamer. He beat Tommy Dreamer. He's got the Digital Media Championship. And then in walks Rhino. And I love that when Rhino walks in, all the effects are gone. We're back to just regular shooting. And then right after the little scuffle that Rhino and Steve get into, the camera effects come back because Crazy Steve is in his head. He's crazy, right? It's good stuff. There's some good visual storytelling going on. What do you think of the Crazy Steve promo?
I did like how when Rhino came in, he was like, hey, what do you do? I love a good fourth wall breaking. It was great. Crazy Steve delivering a crazy promo, saying I don't need to listen to anybody. I hope Rhino doesn't get forked. Oh, that sounds horrible. But I hope he doesn't get forked. But I think this is going to be Crazy Steve's gimmick going forward. And also, zooming out a little bit and talking about the Decay promo later on, I would love to see Decay at large come back as this ultra-violent group because I feel like the pieces are there. If Black Taurus comes back and he just starts being a menace, I want to see what happens there. Not saying they all got to be together and compete together like a tag team or whatever, but I think there is something there for this like new invigorated kind of group because 3 of them out of the 4 hold gold.
Well, let's get right to it then. Decay. They explained their return to the Dark Realm and their return to Decay. I'll be honest, I didn't love the explanation. I think they just kind of flimsied it and just kind of breezed through it. I'm willing to give it a little bit because it's a reset. I can hope for more developments. That being said, when they did it just now, I was like, okay, the set design is really cool. The black and white and the crazy again. Is it the Dark Realm? Is it Purgatory? Whatever this is, that was cool. But the explanation was just kind of lacking. And this was something you and I talked about coming out of the Hard to Kill post show. We're like, we got to have some sort of storyline explanation as to how they became Decay again. And Jessica Havoc being like, I got beat so bad it forced me into it. It's like, that's what happened the first time. So what are we're just recanting, or what are we doing?
Honestly, I decided to hit it with this is wrestling. If this is the answer you're going to give me, you hit me with I'm not explaining myself, no further questions. And I just got to accept that, because whatever I'm going to look for, I'm never going to get it. So you said they were useless meat sacks until you guys were ready. That's what I have to go with until you use them again. All right, plot twist.
Yeah, exactly. And again, to your point, Crazy Steve and Decay having a little bit of a, maybe not a reunion, but maybe some sort of interaction. I'd be fine with that. I would like to see that. I'd like to see them cross each other on the stage or cross each other in backstage and just be like, nice to see you. And again, the way that ended was a little strange. So you got to button that up as well, or just have them be like respectful in a way.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Because I'm also thinking, again, long term, you have a faction like the System. Wouldn't it be nice to have another counter faction as their first feud?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this case, you've got two. Well, not that this really matters in TNA, but like you've got 2 women and 1 man versus 3 guys and a girl.
I mean, I'm sure somebody else can get ookie kooky, with them. I'm sure. This is TNA. I'm sure.
My God, Undead Realm Rhino, let's go. PCO.
Come on now. Look at his new gimmick. He gets wheeled out every week.
They keep doing it. I'm telling you, it's part of his contract. Every time that he comes out, he has to be resuscitated to wrestle. It's like Festus, okay? For those who remember Festus, he comes out just totally dead-eyed, tongue out, bell rings, super wrestler. That's what PCO is. Comes out, they bring out the Chargers. Bzz, he's back to life. PCO lives and he's a wrestling machine. And then he inevitably tries to off himself because he hates his body. And then he comes back because the DNR does not exist in TNA.
Oh my God. Well, I think PCO fits in. Whatever I was going to say just left, because you are a clown. You should be a comedian.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
None of us do. It's called adulthood.
Oh, sorry about it. Hey, MK Ultra is making you feel a certain way against Jody Threat and Danny Luna. I'm a big fan of the team of Jody Threat and Danny Luna, not just because they have 2 different hairstyles and colors, but also because they are real life BFFs. That's what Jody had talked to us about on In the Weeds before Hard to Kill. MK Ultra, though, they're reestablishing themselves as a heel tag team because people were getting really excited over MK Ultra in multiple different ways, but now they're going to reassert themselves as top heels in the TNA Knockouts division, the tag division. This was a good match. What do you think of this? I wouldn't say great match, but this was a solid match.
I was worried that they were going to break them up the moment they lost the title. And I saw shades of that in this match with the miscommunication, with the pump kick to the face. And I was like, okay, please don't do that, because I think right now, if you put Masha and if you break them up, I think the only way for Masha to go is back into the main event scene. And for right now, let things get settled. And I think there's more for MK Ultra to do, ultimately, is what I'm saying. Plus, they have a contractual rematch somewhere in the wings waiting to come. So this match itself was good. There was a nice snap suplex on Danny Luna. Say that 4 times fast. I don't know. I too have felt things, and this match was fantastic. Yeah,
it's good enough. The double brain, it's like a power bomb brain buster. They
don't have a name for it.
They haven't, at least not that I've come across, and it's so ugly, but it's so effective.
It is. I'm trying to justify, because I love wrestling, so I like everything. I truly like everything, and y'all think I'm like, oh, she just didn't know. I truly like everything because I love wrestling, but I'm trying to think, like, say something nice.
Nah.
I like wrestling, man.
it's no, but I don't think that I don't think liking wrestling and being honest about your feelings towards something is a negative thing. I think that if you're being constructive in your criticism, it's good. So when I say like it looks like they're dropping someone on their head, it's not a bad. You shouldn't be dropping people on their head. They make it look that way, and that's okay. If the match ain't for me, then the match ain't for me. But in this case, the match was fine because we're also starting to get MK Ultra again as this dominant heel faction or team. And Jody Threat and Danny Luna are just on their journeys now as a tag team. They're facing former tag champions. It makes sense that they would go down very quickly. Kelly walking over Jody Threat to do that pose. Oh, that was so disrespectful. And then post-match, they attack Luna and Threat, and they drop Luna this time. So again, you have these two reasserting themselves. They're upset that they lost the tag titles. They want to beat everyone on their way to winning Knockouts Tag Team Gold.
I want them to get their contracted rematch. I would like them to lose and reestablish themselves. I think there is enough women right now where if there's more tag teams that can form, the Shaw Taraj doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Let it reset, because we're at a great place to reset, So I would like to see it. I think they're a great tag team together. Please don't break them up. For me personally.
No, I get it. I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't think either team is going anywhere, because in the form of Luna and Threat, this is another Knockouts tag team that need to go for the tag titles. They are the low card right now on the Knockouts tag division, in a division that needs more teams and doesn't necessarily need more people going after the Knockouts World Championship just yet.
Agreed. Hard agree on that.
Yeah. And then, of course, Luna and Threat can work separately as well and have singles matches. They've shown that. That's how they originally started. So there's good cross-section. I like that these two are working together, and I like that these two can still do singles matches against anyone else. So I'm looking forward to how that plays out.
It also keeps Jody Threat away from the redhead vortex.
My God, everyone's a redhead. Except for the Hard to Kill match. She was very excited that she was the only redhead in the match. Good for her.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who's another redhead. I was like, Kylan King. I was like, there are a lot of redheads. Wait a minute.
Kylan King is out. She's injured. She has a torn ACL. She'll be out for almost a year, she said.
Oh, wow. I hope she gets well soon. Holy cow. Those suck.
Yes, they do. It's unfortunate. And we do wish her well, because it sucks to someone who was on the ascent like that goes down with an injury like that. So we're hoping the best for Kylan King. Hope she's doing well. Hope she's on the mend very quickly. Next week, Nick Nemeth takes on Trey Miguel. Kazarian speaks. He's going to say, I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. Brian Myers and Kevin Knight are going to go one-on-one, and GYV versus Ace of Base, part 1 of 3. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good show. Let's get to the main event. Very traditional 6-man tag. The most traditional of 6-man tags. Motor City Machine Guns and the returning Kazuchika Okada take on the System. TNA champion Moose, Brian Myers, and Edward Edwards. And of course, Lish is there. She looks great. Everyone looks great. Everyone's happy. Anyway, this match was shot after the Alexander Ospreay match. So I can tell you from experience, I did not expect the crowd to be super hot. They eventually did, but it started a little slowly. The big moment was Okada coming out. People were super jazzed for that. Okada doesn't get the win, but he does hit the Rainmaker that leads to Shelley getting the pin on Myers, who was going for the roster cut, got cut off. Shelley pins Myers, gets the win. What do you think of the match, Cresta Star? Let's talk about it. F the System, by the way. Those chants. Good for you, Vegas.
Vegas got it right. What a time to be a wrestling fan. Okada and TNA. And shout out to TNA for acknowledging that Okada was like, yo, this place sucks. I hate this place. I never want to come back. And see that he spoke about it. And maybe at the time we might have sucked. Also, I do remember, I think it was last week, or maybe it was the week prior, we had discussed why make Moose champion. And I think this is a perfect example why. That whole stable is a bunch of heels that we all collectively are like, F those guys. So no matter what happens to them, we don't care. We want them to lose. In this situation, you have Okada on the enemy team who obviously cannot lose. And Moose is on the other team who's your world champion who obviously can't lose. What have you done, TNA? Unless he's on a team with Eddie Edwards, who's a jerk. Alicia Edwards, who was outside yelling, Eddie, get him! She is obnoxious, and I love it. This is the best, all of them, in my opinion. Someone who is a Eddie Edwards hater for free. I think this is the best obnoxious iteration of him. This is peak, like, yo, shut up. This is good. The system just works. Just trust the system. This is what Honor No More, I feel like, could have been. Because I feel like all these guys were in Honor No More too. Like,
well, Myers wasn't. Moose wasn't. It was just Edwards.
Oh my God, Eddie Edwards again. I hate him for free, but this is kind of good. I gotta tell you, this is kind of good. This is more than good. I F the system.
I think you nailed it on the head right at the top. The system, these three guys and Lish are not. They're not in between with TNA fans. They are bad guys. They are heels through and through. People are not cheering for them, no matter what they do. There is no space in which they'll be like, oh, but I kind of like them. They do the moves. No, they are very traditional heel team, and they have a stupid name, like by design. It's not, they're calling them the system. It's silly. It's stupid. But like they think that this is trust the system. And it's hokey, but it works. It's the right thing to do. Moose and Okada doing a stare down, unexpected. But they were the two biggest guys in the match, so you had to do the stare down, and it looked good. Moose is the champion. Okada is the guy who was originally, wronged by TNA during his excursion from New Japan Pro Wrestling. This worked. The double dragon leg screw twist from Motor City Machine Guns to Edward Edwards is good stuff. That's always fun. But really, at the end of the day, this was a very traditional 6-man tag match. Okada spent a lot of the time on the floor until he got that hot tag. And, the rest of the match was very Motor City Machine Guns against Moose and Myers and Edwards, I should say. And then they did the zoom out. This was my thing. Everyone got really excited because they did the camera zoom out when Okada does the pose where, he does that. It was very awkwardly shot or edited. I don't know what happened. Just someone, however the edit went, it was very weird. But you know what? They did it. Okada is back in TNA. They did post the exclusive, the Okada talking to the crowd after the match. I had posted that originally when it happened. Kind of forced TNA's hand. I'm sorry. It's extra content. I didn't actually do it, but it's been out there since the taping. He's happy to be back. He was happy for his experience. Clearly, that means Kazuchika Okada is going to be joining TNA. He's signing the deal, baby. No, probably not.
I mean, listen. I will always campaign for the betterment of TNA because I think there's nothing wrong with people having a place, 3 options, not just 2, and a place where you feel like you can be your most creative self. I love TNA now. I'm not ashamed. So if Okada did, I'm like, walk the children in nature. Think about what that would do for TNA. It'd probably do nothing for you personally, but you could do so much. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. But I already know you got children to feed, places to go. Yeah.
And of course, the Marvel finish. Ali is coming. Mustafa Ali is making his way to TNA. Orion Ben sent a super chat earlier saying, imagine TNA gives us Okada and Ali before AEW. Wow. Well, we don't know where either man is going to or planning to go. Okada has literally been talked about by everybody in any way. And the idea right now is that he is nowhere bound, and nobody knows. Everyone thinks he's going one place, but he could be going another, so we don't know. And then Ali's coming.
Ali versus Okada. Can you believe what a timeline, bro? Who put on universe mode? We are eating good. Is it Thanksgiving? It's the beginning of 2024, and I'm afraid to say I'm hopeful, but I'm hopeful.
You never know what could happen. I don't think they'll do Ali Okada, but it's nice to see that both men have made their way into TNA and they're going to do their thing. Just like you can do your thing over at FightfulSelect.com, the best $5 in the business. I got so wrapped up in the rest of our conversation that I forgot to give you all of that information. Rumble scoops, we're already posting them. We already dropped one. It's a spoiler, so if you don't want spoilers, don't read that. But we've got plenty of other content coming for you. The Sports Illustrated report that dropped yesterday and then has since been updated. We had plenty of reactions from those within WWE in a report there. A lot of extra podcasts, a lot of extra special content. We'll have a Royal Rumble pre-show dropping over on Fightful Select. Best $5 in the business. And of course, we got you covered for AEW news. We got you covered for TNA news. If something's going on in the world of wrestling, guess where they go? They go to FightfulSelect.com. Best $5 in the business. You know. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for TNA. Things are going well. I almost looked up flights to Windsor, Ontario, Cresta Star.
I feel like we've talked about one of these places in Ontario or Canada where you were like, this place kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's Hamilton. Don't ever go to Hamilton.
Never mind. Sorry, Windsor. I almost confused you with Hamilton. I don't know that place. So
Windsor's not great either, but like Windsor's like where Can-Am Dojo is. It's where Scott D'Amore is. I think it's their place for now. Anyway, listen, the flight is $350. Probably not happening unless one of y'all send like a $300 super chat right now. But you know, I could take the train. Train's 4 hours. It's $100. Could do that. Go see Sacrifice. Yeah, you know.
It's almost Valentine's Day. Wouldn't you love for Valentine's Day to send your Valentine, Joel Pearl? How cute, how adorable. Look at him.
That's
Look
me.
at those glasses. Adorable.
Cresta Star, what you got going on?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a Collision post show this Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Myself and the lovely Lyric is going to be doing the Collision post show, because if we tried to do the Collision post show while the Royal Rumble was going on, that's not happening. All right. Every Wednesday, you can catch me over on Twitch or TikTok at Cresta Star. We watch everything AEW. I unfortunately stream on that day because my muggle job has me in a chokehold like Kane. If that sounded like a lot, go to Twitter or X. My link tree is in the bio. I'm sorry, my brain blue screened for a second. Joel Pearl, please, I need to go to sleep.
I'm easy to find. I am at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. I get in the weeds every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern until noon Eastern over on Fightful Overbooked. That's our sister channel. Myself and Jeremy Lambert will be live Friday morning, as we always are. Plenty in the world to talk about. I got to go set up that stream. So until then, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Bye.